It definitely seems like Disney has dropped some major hints that we'll be seeing Thaddeus Ross as the Red Hulk in the MCU at some point during Phase 4. Let's talk about how he might make his MCU debut, and when we can expect to see him Hulk out. Okay, so I haven't exactly been shy about the long wish list I have of comic book characters I want to see in the MCU. Listen, I know Kraven the Hunter is gonna show up any day now, and don't you dare try to crush my dreams. But speaking of crushing, I'm going to talk about the Red Hulk, since there's a lot of evidence that he's going to be showing up soon. Just in case you're way behind on the comics, Thaddeus Ross is the person who transforms into the Red Hulk, and he's been in the MCU since way back in that one movie everybody tends to forget about. But much more relevant to the topic on hand is the fact that he showed up to Tony Stark's funeral during Avengers Endgame. Well, at least I'm pretty sure it was really him and not another hologram like we saw during Infinity War. This scene pairs nicely with a very convincing leak that comes to us via Twitter. Unlike most anonymous sources, this account did correctly predict some major Endgame spoilers, including the appearance of Jarvis, the Hail Hydra line, and the fact that Thor would be rocking a dad bod. Or do Asgardians call that an all-father bod? Anyway, this account tweeted out that Marvel has big plans for a handful of characters, including Helmut Zemo, Ghost, Justin Hammer, the Abomination, and General Ross. But how is General Ross going to transform from a cantankerous man to a cantankerous man infused with the power of gamma radiation? In the comic books, Ross hates Bruce Banner / the Hulk so much that he becomes Red Hulk in an effort to finally stand against him, which is pretty much the definition of cutting off your nose to spite your face. But you know what they say, sometimes you gotta fight the Incredible Hulk with another Hulk, or something like that. It definitely seems like his origin story will undergo significant changes for his debut in the MCU, and this could tie into the upcoming Black Widow movie. It's been confirmed that William Hurt will appear in the film as Thaddeus Ross, although we aren't sure exactly what his role will be quite yet. Keep in mind that the events of this movie will take place after Captain America: Civil War and before Avengers: Infinity War. Even though it's not primarily an origin story, I'm still expecting to see some flashbacks about Natasha's time in the Black Widow program and the infamously terrible Red Room. As we know, she was once a Russian spy who defected to the United States. Although she had her BFF Clint Barton to vouch for her, it's possible that she offered the United States something of value in order for them to look past her various crimes. In the comics, many entities have tried to figure out their own version of the super soldier serum used to give Captain America his powers. But the thing about that stuff is that when it goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong. Steve Rogers' life wasn't easy, but at least he didn't have to go around looking like the Red Skull. If they had such a serum, Natasha could have used it as a bargaining chip to ensure her safe acceptance into the States. And if the government has access to this almost certainly dangerous serum, then Ross likely has access to it as well. We've already seen something similar create the Red Skull, so is it really so crazy to think it could make the Red Hulk too? Ross isn't the only anti-superhero enemy I'm expecting to see in the MCU in the near future. Let's not forget that good old Helmut Zemo is going to be appearing in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+. Not only is he one of the most successful villains, but he's frankly one of the few who managed to survive more than one Marvel movie. What can I say? The guy's good at being bad. One frequently stated fan theory is that Zemo will head up the Thunderbolts at some point during this show. I've gone into detail about this in another video, which I highly recommend you check out if you haven't already. But for those of you who are forgetful, short on time, or both— wait, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, the Thunderbolts. To quickly summarize, this is a group of villains who started out masquerading as heroes in order to hide in plain sight. But eventually, they realized that being a hero is just more fun than being a villain, and they started trying to go legit. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of differences between the comic book version of this team and the one we get in the MCU, but Zemo was clever enough to fracture the Avengers during Civil War, so it's possible he could manage to get his team of evildoers officially sanctioned. After all, based on what we've seen so far, it seems like the government is trying their hand at making John Walker their new Captain America. Even the name Thunderbolt seems to hint that Ross will be involved, since that's his nickname. Maybe Zemo will put forth the name in order to appeal to Ross, or maybe they'll use the moniker because Ross will end up taking control. But anyone starting up a team of superheroes, or alleged superheroes in the MCU, is going to have to go through General Ross first. Back in Civil War, he was all for the Sokovia Accords, which made superheroes not sanctioned by the government illegal. Of course, I love the fantastical elements of the MCU as much as the next person, but I'm also interested in the nitty-gritty details. How did the blip impact the Sokovia Accords? After heroes stepped up to defeat Thanos and undo the decimation, how has public opinion of them changed? It's possible that General Ross will have less public support than ever before, and I'm gonna guess that's not going to sit well with him. It might even push him to extreme measures, like getting his own superpowers, to fight on the right side of the law, of course. Even though his heart isn't always in it nowadays, we all love seeing Hulk smashing stuff, but Ross's ability to be a villain doesn't just depend on how jacked he gets as the Red Hulk. He's already an enemy to unsanctioned heroes, both the ones that already exist and those who have yet to develop their powers. It's possible that he won't decide to give heroes more free reign after the whole decimation thing, and in fact may decide they need to be kept on an even tighter leash, especially when what we saw during Spider-Man Far From Home becomes common knowledge. We learned that Nick Fury is up to something that involves a lot of shape-shifting Skrulls. Now exactly what it is, I can't say for certain, although believe me, I have no shortage of theories. But whether he's heading up SWORD, starting up a Flurkin breeding program, or just trying to get some well-deserved peace and quiet, I'm confident about one thing. Ross is not gonna be happy when he realizes that shape-shifting aliens have infiltrated Earth in any capacity, no matter how minor. As the Red Hulk, Ross would of course have the option of pummeling the Skrulls, and any heroes without the correct paperwork. But as a regular human, he has the option of crushing them with piles of paperwork and serious legal ramifications. Honestly, it's hard to tell which of those options is more terrifying. When the Skrulls tried to invade Earth in the comics, Norman Osborn started a group of government-sponsored heroes known as the Dark Avengers. Or at least they were supposed to be heroes, but in reality, they were more villains playing the part. Is it possible that Red Hulk could end up on a team like the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts? After all, he vaguely resembles an existing legitimate hero, Smart Hulk, and that's practically all the qualifications you need to join these teams. Ross has made it abundantly clear that he wants to smash freelance heroes, whether with new legislation or his fists. This means he would be the perfect match for someone who can compete in both a legal arena and an all-out superpowered brawl. And what a coincidence, because someone like that is getting her very own show on Disney+. Yes, I'm talking about Jennifer Walters, better known as She-Hulk. She might have the same rippling green muscles as her cousin Bruce Banner, but these two characters are actually quite different. Didn't the Skrulls not being the villains of Captain Marvel teach you not to judge a weird green book by their cover? Prior to the days of Smart Hulk, Bruce Banner would lose total control over himself when he turned into the Hulk. While he was technically a hero, he was uncontrollable in the early days of the MCU and could do just as much damage as the villain, if not more. But Jennifer maintains her intelligence and humanity when she turns into She-Hulk. Basically, she starts out as kind of Smart Hulk without the need for negotiations between two entities sharing a single body, or an extra dose of gamma radiation. Oh, and did I mention that she works as a lawyer? So, much like General Ross, she inspires us to ask if the pen really is mightier than the sword. Or rather, whether it's mightier than the big giant Hulk fist. In the comics, saying that Red Hulk and the regular Incredible Hulk don't see eye to eye is a massive understatement. They hate each other the way Bruce Banner and the Hulk once hated each other before they got their issues sorted out. Ross despises what he can't control, and few things in the MCU are more out of control than the Hulk when he's in a rage. While She-Hulk has the ability to hold herself back, I wouldn't be surprised if Ross doesn't trust her. Yes, I want to see Red Hulk and She-Hulk pummeling each other on the new She-Hulk show, but it would also be interesting to see them engaged in legal battles. Instead of People's Court, can we please have Hulk's Court? If Ross keeps pushing for legislation that would impact superpowered humans like Jennifer Walters, I have a feeling she's not going to let him go unchallenged. It's also possible she could step in to help heroes having trouble hiding their alter egos. Like, say, poor Peter Parker who got outed in front of the entire world in Far From Home. He might be looking for a lawyer in the near future. Spider-Man can fight giant monsters, illegal arms dealers, and aliens from outer space, but somehow going to court is even scarier than all of that. And if groups like the Thunderbolts or the Dark Avengers are in the mix, then the non-courtroom battles would be even more epic. Not only does Red Hulk seem like he would be a great fit for the show, but there are a substantial amount of rumors that he'll be at least making an appearance. A mere hint at what Thanos was capable of in the first Avengers film was enough to terrify Tony Stark into creating Ultron. I mean, he ended up being an ultra-powerful villain, but he was built with good intentions. It's possible that the decimation and subsequent blip has shown Ross and the general public that the MCU needs inhuman heroes, capable of fighting against such threats. But Ross will undoubtedly want to control any new heroes, and forming or taking part in a team would be one way of going about that. It'll definitely be interesting to see what the Red Hulk is like, and how much of his humanity he retains while transformed. I'm ready for more Hulks in the MCU. Bring on Red Hulk, She-Hulk, and any other Hulks Marvel wants to throw at us. How do you think Ross's transformation will happen in the MCU? Tell us all about it in the comments section below, and then click that subscribe button for more from CBR. Bye for now.